debate. Issue number one I would like to raise is on alienation of state land by way of provisional leases. Tuan Speaker, it has become the practice of the state government to alienate hundreds of thousands acres of state land to large plantation companies for leasehold periods of 60 years through provisional leases issued. Such PLs, Tuan Speaker, can be charged to commercial banks for funding purposes and is a powerful instrument equivalent to land titles in effect. A quick check from information available online on some listed plantation companies reveals a huge amount of state land being alienated to them at relatively low premiums. As the current state policy stands, such alienation exercises of state lands were carried out directly without any transparency at all. Until today, Tuan Speaker, the Honourable Chief Minister has still not introduced an open tender system for such valuable state resources as state lands, in spite of his claim to implement a clean administration through the signing of integrity pledges for his cabinet members in the fight against corruption. Without policy reform for state land alienation via a transparent open tender system, the integrity pledge means little or nothing since so much valuable resources were being distributed unfairly. From the approval letters issued to plantation companies, Tuan Speaker, it was clearly stated that any dispute with the local communities should the land being alienated were later found to have conflicting NCR claims. The beneficiary, i.e. the plantation companies, would be responsible in settling any dispute with the local community. Tuan Speaker, that means the state government is pushing away its responsibility to the private sector, despite being vested with full rights and power over state land. This was done knowing well that the local community involving native Bumiputras were being placed at a disadvantage, since they often lack any legal instrument to prove ownership other than relying on historical evidence of their long occupation, because many NCR lands have yet to be issued with titles. Tuan Speaker, one wonders why is the state government so quick in granting state land to big companies, but is so slow and not efficient in issuing NCR land titles. With PL in hand, there is provisional lease in hand. Big companies gain the upper hand in dealing with native claims that lead to dispute and conflict, which sometimes turn ugly when questionable tactics involving force and gangsters were used to bully the native into submission. On recent case, Tuan Speaker, in Nia, or it happened in Miri actually, but the land concerned is situated in Nia, involved an attack on village chief Tuai Rumah Jambai of Pekelik Siputi by some gangsters suspected to be hired by a plantation company, which highlighted the need for the government to review its all practices of direct state land alienation and the issuance of PLs. The outbreak of violence was a result of the government's apathy towards this dispute, leading to the loss of confidence in the authority by the local community. Tuan Speaker, the government should not be washing its hand off land dispute, which is a result of its alienating state land to the private sector without checking that the lands were free of NCR claims or any other encumbrances. In event of such claims, the government is duty-bound to resolve the matter fairly, which is to withdraw the PL. The government cannot simply claim ignorance of NCR claims nor ignore the rights of natives in staking their claims over their ancestral land. The best practice, Tuan Speaker, in line with the signing of integrity pledge to fight corruption in the state, would be to introduce an open tender system for state land alienation, which seek to inform the local community of such an exercise so that they can forward their claims to protect their NCR lands from encroachment. Tuan Speaker, the CM may have difficulty getting back autonomous powers from the federal government as defined by the Malaysian Agreement 1963 on such matters as education, healthcare, police, taxation, and so on and so forth. But it is clearly within the CM powers or the state government's powers over the lands matters as spelled out in the Sarawak Land Court. Hence, Chief Minister does not need 5 more years to do so, as he only needs a single day in a state cabinet meeting to announce policy reforms to practice transparent open tender system for such important matters as state land alienation. An open tender system will stimulate competition amongst bidders, leading to increased collection of state revenue, and there is no reason not to practice for the benefit of the state and the people. Tuan Speaker, issue number 2 is concerning Baran Dam cancellation. Sure.
Terima kasih, Dato' Amai, Speaker. I would like to ask the member for Piasau. Well, he has been mentioning about the state government policy of alienating provisional lease. I'm not aware whether he is aware that all this policy of alienating PL has been stopped, and he has been announced by the Chief Minister numerous times in his speeches and even in the cabinet. There is no more issuance of new title or new PL. There is no more issuance of new plantation. No. But he can't stop the one that has been issued.
He can revoke the PL.
That is why I'm just asking you whether you are aware of this new policy or not.
But I...
No. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Asajaya. We welcome that policy. If the CM announced that he's not issuing any PL anymore, but the question is,
no more PL for
for this plantation, but
already issued.
They cannot push away responsibility when there's NCL claim involved in this PL, right? So you can issue PL to the native, right? Instead of asking them to wait in vain for the land title to be issued. That's why. Okay.
Are you taking?
Yeah.
I'm taking, but you have to reserve my time.
Okay.
You're taking.
I think Pujut,
No,
Piasau. Pujut is on the other side.
Piasau, you know that even yesterday the Alian Muhammad for Semunjan has mentioned about more than 600,000 hectares of NCR land has been done perimeter survey with a view for this. Probably in future they will be given into smaller title. But then perimeter survey, because there must be a procedure of how to do it. There must be a procedure.
Too slow. 52 years already, still surviving.
But then at least there is an effort. There is an effort by the state government to make sure that the natives will get that land, you know. Those native customary land.
But the plantation company easily get it. Very fast.
That's a fair policy.
20,000, you know.
Thank you.
Fair policy.
Asajaya. Okay. It was a great relief for the local communities in Ulu Baram affected by the proposed Baran Dam project when the Honourable Chief Minister announced that the work on the dam will be stopped immediately. It appears that the ADUN has come to realise there is tremendous disagreements on the ground with Baran Dam that will swallow up a large part of the historic settlement that has been there for so many years since the White Raja era. As an important settlement in the Marudi division of Ulu Baram that thrives in the fertile valley along Baram River, Long Sang has always been the heartland of the Kenya Edit Group. Tuan Speaker, a check from Wikipedia and many other online resources like the Sarawak Tourism Board website will reveal that Long Sang is the principal home of Kenya culture, arts, craft, music and dance, and which has become increasingly popular as a tourist destination in Sarawak. Besides a 7-hour drive by logging track from Miri, Long Sang is also served by a small airport less than 2 kilometers away in Long Aka, which is the site of an old fort built in 1929 as an administrative centre in Raja Charles Vernerbrook's era. Tuan Speaker, the historical 2-story fort was constructed from a very hard and valuable ironwood called Kayu Belian and has been refurbished to preserve it for future generation and tourism. Therefore, Tuan Speaker, it is unthinkable that such an important native settlement would be submerged under the waters of Baran Dam and wipe out hundreds of years of Kenya heritage, which should be protected at all costs instead of being destroyed in the name of development. In fact, the whole Ulu Baram Valley should be gazetted as a state heritage site and a national treasure, as is like the goose that lay the golden eggs for the tourism industry. Tuan Speaker, there is no reason why development cannot reach Ulu Barang without the destructive Barang Dam project, seeing it is the duty and responsibility of the state government to provide the infrastructure development that will stimulate economic activities like tourism. A referendum, if any, on the ground will reveal the extent of resistance to Barang Dam marked by ceaseless blockages meant by the inhabitants there. The words of appointed chiefs do not count as they represent the government and not the people of Ulu Barang, and hence must never be used as representing the majority due to conflict of interest.
Yeah.
However, some groups concerned about saving Longsang and Ulu Barang from the destruction that will be brought by the Barang Dam project wanted strong assurance from the state government that the Barang Dam will not be restarted after the coming Sarawak state election.
Yeah.
Tuan Speaker, they are mindful of broken promises they will not fulfill after election, and wanted the state government to return all lands acquired for the Barang Dam project as a site that is indeed cancelled and stopped permanently.
Betul.
Tuan Speaker, there must not be any more U-turns on the promise made before the election. Otherwise, it's not sincere at all, as it is used to fish for votes only. This is a straightforward issue. So here, I would like the Honourable Chief Minister to confirm in this August House that Barang Dam has been cancelled and not merely stopped temporarily for the election.
Betul.
Better still, CM can instruct the Land Office to help gazette Ulu Barang as a heritage site to protect it from future destructive projects.
Jangan tipu
Like the saying goes, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. The people of Ulu Barang preferred the present settlement in the fertile valley than the uncertain promises of development brought by the destructive Barang Dam that would eliminate what they already have built over the years and be forced to move to hostile area just to restart the life all over again. Please follow up by announcing it to the people of Ulu Barang that all lands acquired for the Barang Dam project should be returned to them immediately. And they will be most grateful and convinced that this new CM is genuine and caring for the welfare and really means what he said. Tuan Speaker, I feel like bullet, until the last sitting, for the past 4 years. Time is really very limited.
Are you contesting in Ulu Barang?
I'm representing Northern Sarawak and the whole of Sarawak. Okay, corruption and integrity pledge issue. Now, the third topic. I applaud the Chief Minister initiative in taking the first step of directing members of the Cabinet to sign the Pledge of Integrity, which is a standard instrument to express commitment to uphold anti-corruption principles. It's just like a job applicant who signs standard employment form with typical conditions attached to express commitment to perform the job honestly and be subjected to reviews of performances. Hence, the next step is to follow up with meaningful action that ensure the candidate does the job as expected and does not break the pledge. Otherwise, whatever was signed remains a mere paper instrument without the relevant administrative reforms or effective action taken in the governance of the state. Tuan Speaker, this will make the government's integrity pledge appear to be an empty or promise to deliver result that does not uphold anti-corruption principle and result in the government becoming a paper tiger that does not mean what it says. Let's see, after about a year of signing the integrity pledge in April last year, what action has the CM taken to ensure what has been pledged was transformed into positive result of governing the state that benefit the people? For instance, was there a declaration of personal asset by the members of state cabinet, such as the state minister and assistant minister? None. No declaration. Make it public. Put it online. Put it online every year. You already to who? You declare to CM. You declare to who? You declare to the people. You have to declare. You declare first. I challenge you to declare.
Declare.
I challenge you to declare.
Declare. You panggil
I challenge you.
MRP panggil MRP
Assistant Minister.
Panggil MRP
You declare. You take the lead.
Order.
看着谁多少？看我们大家多少？
You speak now.
Order. Order.
看着kota Sentosa.
Don't switch attention. I'm talking about declaring of personal asset by state cabinet minister. You are still backbencher chair. You are not a cabinet member. Sit down. Okay, sit down. Okay. In other words, the integrity pledge becomes just a public relation exercise to create a good first impression.
Member for Piasau address the chair.
Yeah. Where's my time to look at you lah? I look at my speaker better.
My speaker more handsome.
Speaker more handsome.
In other words, the integrity pledge to become just a public relation exercise to create a good first impression, which unfortunately fell short of meeting public expectation that it deliver real result. The question now is whether the Honourable CM is serious in moving towards greater transparency in his administration that is necessary for the fight against corruption. Without taking the step to increase transparency in the administration, how is the public to be convinced that no corrupt officer were being protected or remain undetected, or worse, of corruption cases being covered up? The declaration of personal assets should not take too long, the Tuan Speaker, unless there are too many properties to be listed, which will be highly unusual and may require MSCC to step in for clearance with proper investigation. And certainly does not warrant a 5-year mandate requested of the electorate. The CM does not need 5 years to do that.
Yeah, no.
Just one day in the state cabinet meeting, he can make the policy change, the policy reforms. All it takes is for them is the cooperation of the state cabinet members to list and tally their assets before the CM, of which it seems to be lacking if none of them take the initiative to do so. He can emulate best practices in fighting corruption by looking at what others have done in the country and from around the world. Without looking too far, the state government of Selangor and Penang reported their cabinet members' assets to the public annually, and which were also made available online. Tuan Speaker, I would like to take this opportunity to assist the CM in proving his seriousness to fight corruption by setting the right example. In reminding the Alright Honourable Chief Minister of the MSCC investigation of his Assistant Minister from Tupong for corruption. With the pending case, should the Assistant Minister not be suspended from official duty in order to facilitate investigation and not create a conflict of interest and undue pressure on the investigator? The long delay by the MSCC whether to prosecute him in the court of law or to clear his name casts a very, very negative perception on the case. The public may suspect interference by some parties in the case, since the suspect under investigation for the billion ringgit scandal remain in office, which only serves to taint the good name of the state government. It has been about 6 months since the public statement made by MSCC in relation to recording his statement, the member of the Honourable from Tupong, and the long silence burdened many people following the case. Can the Honourable Chief Minister please enlighten this august House on the progress of the investigation? Yeah, he's still in the state office. No prosecution, no clearing of his name.
Cannot. Yeah.
6 months already. Mesti bersih. Okay. Declare, I say first lah. Tuan Speaker, issue number 4 on autonomy, immigration autonomy. We are blessed with this power of immigration autonomy, which was what we agreed on during the formation of the Federation of Malaysia in 1963, that was guaranteed under the Malaysia Agreement. There is no doubt that we are in full support of the state autonomy, as it allows the vast underdeveloped state to grow as its own pace under its unique condition of a diverse ethnic group living in peace and harmony. However, Tuan Speaker, we are saddened by the frequent abuse of the immigration autonomy for political aims that have been shown in many cases. As such, we condemn the exploitation of this autonomy to certify the desire of some parties for their own advantage. Tuan Speaker, we must have a system to ensure compliance with natural justice, with proper and clear procedure to allow for appeal in case of abuse of powers for unjustified purposes. What we see now is a situation where the state government bans anyone from entering Sarawak without having to give any reason at all, which is most unfair Such powers to deny entry without reason should not be exercised arbitrarily as it risks of inhumane practice and arrogance that show utmost disrespect to visitors. There is a saying that all visitors are to be welcome, and even if they cannot be received as guests due to circumstances, they must be accorded respect that reflects the goodwill of the host.
Yeah.
There should be clear procedure to allow for an appeal of the entry ban imposed. Tuan Speaker, for example, many people cannot understand and are less bizarre that even an elected member of parliament like Tony Phua and Nurul Izzah were banned, as they are neither a criminal nor terrorist but law-abiding citizens and a respected members of the lower house in parliament.
Your time is up. But because you are gentleman enough to take the point of information
just
from
last two paragraphs, sorry. Last two paragraphs.
I give you extra.
Oh, you give me time. Oh, thank you. I misunderstood you.
He's good.
Last sitting, you know. Okay, thank you, Tuan Speaker. Hey, shut up, shut up.
Address the chair.
I address the chair. Tuan Speaker, the unjustified ban on Tony Phua and Nurul Izzah revealed the elements of abuse to the extent of undermining one's freedom of movement and speech as enshrined under the Federal Constitution. For the new Office of Chief Minister's administration, if he wants to show a difference from his predecessor, he should not indulge in unfair practices of banning an MP, but also lift the ban on other MP and respected figures like Teresa Kok, Rafizi, and Dato' Ambika. Without assigning any reason for banning them, we are all left with the idea that it was all for scoring point on political advantage of the Barisan Nasional. Where in the case of Tony Phua, who touched on one NTB's 42 billion scandal out of concern for the country welfare. I urge the Chief Minister to tell this august House and the people of Sarawak how this office to exercise this immigration autonomy that is fair and respectful to our visitors, and that is justified purely for keeping out unwanted elements like racists, extremists, criminals, and terrorists. Tuan Speaker, as a state leader who came to office with much promises of a good and different leadership, the Chief Minister would be wise not to continue the old legacy of arbitrarily denying the rights of fellow countrymen, especially respected lawmakers, their basic rights to freedom of movement as citizens within the Federation, or risk being ridiculed for being politically biased in judgment. The Right Honourable Chief Minister would be much respected for his wisdom if he shows sound judgment in assigning proper reason for any entry ban on visitors to the state, which has been lacking in most, if not all, cases. Also, he will be very much admired as a fair leader if he is able to implement clear procedures for any visitors being denied entry to the state in appealing for their cases to be reconsidered. There should not be any doubt as to why someone was denied entry to the state, but only on fair grounds consistent with Universal Human Rights Declaration as recognized by the United Nations. With the above four issues highlighted, I conclude my speech, and I hope to be back again in the next sitting with a larger contingent. Thank you.
Tukar orang sudah?
Maradong.
Ali Muhammad dari Balingan.
Terima kasih